Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel and some Victory at Sea here for you. So we're finally going to start getting into some actual videos of gameplay, and we're going to start with a series on just showing some basic game concepts before we really show off like a full battle report for you guys. So for those who've been curious on just some of the mechanics and how the game functions, we're just going to demonstrate a few things here and some friendly target practice. So we got some fellow Kriegsmarine ships here. So we got the Eugen and one of the Königsberg classes out there. So I think that's the Köln. So we're just going to demonstrate some basic gunnery things in this first video, and then we'll kind of cover some other bits. We'll bring in some torpedo-capable ships, etc., and just really show that off for you guys as well. Different types of ships, of course, as well. So you can see how destroyers fare versus different sizes of ships, and just again all manner of sort of combos here, just to show you what you can typically expect in attacks at different ranges. So to start off with today, we're gonna do a little bit of shooting practice here. So the Eugen is gonna shoot, and we've set the ranges here deliberately. So with its main guns, we're gonna shoot at what is still short range for it, and we'll show how the modifiers work. And then the Königsberg is actually gonna be at long range, but we'll show how that there'll be sort of a penalty for that, but then also some of the advantages of shooting at long range with main guns and stuff like that. And then eventually we'll work on, they both actually have torpedoes, so we'll reuse them for this initial part on torpedoes, and just again, show you guys how some of the mechanics work as far as making attacks, applying damage, and then hopefully we'll get some crits in this as well. So we're gonna keep the rolls honest. So we're gonna start off with Hipper shooting each of its turrets here. We're gonna, again, just go straight into shooting, ignoring moves and other orders and stuff like that, just keeping it simple for you guys. So we have 4 turrets, 2 attack dice apiece, so we got 8 that we're gonna fire here. We're at short range still, because we do go out to 18 inches, and we've pre-measured, but just to show you guys, so we're actually at a little more, a little more here than, what do we got? About 15. And there's unfortunately a dip in the table here, so it does look a little bit wonky, but about 15 inches. So like I said, enough to put the Königsberg at long and show different modifiers for you guys as well. So we need 4 ups. We look at our attack dice modifier page as well. So if we can get that to get in focus. So we're actually in short range, no other penalties. The Köln is not a destroyer or anything like that, and not fast moving either. So let's roll that for you guys here, see what we get. See if we do decent. It's not looking decent. So let's just get all that back in frame here. So we did manage 3 hits, so less than average. So we're gonna get rid of all of that. Then we're gonna look at damage. So guns have 1 on the damage dice. So then we're gonna roll that, and AP on these, there's no extra AP, so no penalty or bonus for that, just not big enough guns, but also not really weak guns either, so just average cruiser / heavy cruiser type guns. So, and then the way we do this, so the resulting number on each damage die is compared to the target's armor score. So in Königsberg, the Köln here is just a light cruiser, so 2s. So for each damage die that rolls a 1, it's just going to bounce. But for each one that beats it, essentially we'll be able to apply some damage. And if we do roll some natural 6s, that's where we get the chances for crits here. So we are looking for basically better than 2s. And we got a 2, a 3, and a 6. So again, just reading off of the straight up damage explanation here. So again, no AP modifiers here. So if we actually equal or exceed, we do a point of damage. So we've beaten them by 2, so we're gonna apply 2 damage. And we did roll a 6, which has the potential to cause a crit. So for each natural 6, we roll a 6 again. Or sorry, we roll a d6 again. I'd love to roll a 6. So if we get a 4 or more here, we might cause a crit. And lucky, called it a 6. Fantastic. So we'll have that basic 1 damage, because it was a hit nonetheless. So And then we'll go into the crit chart. So we're going to apply our 3 damage because, again, these guns just do 1 damage a piece. They're good, but they're not overly powerful. So ideally we would have hit more there and just done a whole bunch of just basic damage. Now, and we weren't at long range or extreme range, so we won't get plunging fire. We'll explain that. That's why we positioned the Krillin that far away, so its guns will actually count as plunging fire. But anyway, so we did cause a crit. So we're gonna slide over here just so we can get the book in frame for you guys, and we'll see what we managed to do to the poor light cruiser. So the game does use D10s for some things. So we're gonna roll a D10 for each crit that we scored, and we did 1. So we're gonna figure out basically where did we crit the thing. So on the roll, we did roll a 6. So that's gonna be in the weapons, which obviously is gonna make the return fire a little bit weaker. So when either the engine, weapons, or crew area sustains a critical hit, that area's critical score increases by 1 to a maximum of 6. So you keep track of them by placing the relevant tokens on your ship's card, and critical hits against a vital system are dealt with differently. Yeah, so if you ever get into the vital systems, it's good. So then let's take a look at weapons. So we basically did our damage there. But again, we'll come back and talk about that in a second. So I just want to make sure we walk everybody through crits again. So, yeah. So that area's score increases by 1 to a max of 6. You just keep adding to it. Every time an area increases, immediately apply the extra damage to the ship's hull and apply the associated penalty. The effects are cumulative, so if the engines have a 3, then its flank speed's also going to get reduced by 2. And if an area already has a crit score of 6 and receives another one in that area, you apply both the extra damage and penalty for a crit score of 6 again. And then, as we've seen in our previous videos, some areas do increase it automatically, or some damage increases in other areas too, and it can very quickly chain react, which is really what you want to do when you push a lot of damage through. The more crits, the better, because that really can start toppling some of these ships that have, 100 hit points or more, right? You don't want to keep plinking away 1 damage at a time. You got to get those crits in there. So let's jump back in there then. All right, so we hit the weapons, first one. So it's going to take 1 extra point of damage. So we're going to go back to our ship here, drop us to 11. We'll show that in a second. And then they're just going to have -1 attack dice. So, and then we got to roll here. Each time this result is gained, you roll a d6. And then on a 1 through 3, attack dice are lost from all light guns. 4 through 5 is AA, and a 6 is torpedoes. So we rolled a 1, full disclosure over there, and our other roll over there. So it's going to be from all the light guns. Yes. Okay. So, and on this ship, it doesn't really have light guns. Then we have to roll again until we find something that it does. Roll a 2, still nothing. Roll a 5. There we go. So we lose from our AA battery, which that's fine. We're not really shooting AA in this explanation video anyway. So there you have it. Again, we didn't hit vital systems. Those are always fun, but that's how a crit would work there. So just to come back to the card for you guys. So we've basically taken almost a third of our damage that we can take from that volley. So even though that wasn't really a spectacular main gun hit from the cruiser, it's still about a third, but we still have more. The Hipper does have light guns, and the range here is going to be at extreme. So the penalty for extreme is a -2. So given that we need 4s, we really need to roll 6s to hope to do anything here as well. And even if we do hit, they are very weak guns, but we still roll. So there's our roll. We did squeak in a lucky 6. All right, AP is -2 on those, and they are also weak. But so again, the armor is 2+, so really we need a 4 to do any damage. So -2 is really a 3, but 3 is still enough to beat the armor. So we did manage to pop a lucky shot in there. But that is a quick salvo from the Hipper at a typical engagement range. Excuse me. So you can see, really, that could have been much better, but that's still a fair bit of work. So we'll be right back with the return fire. Alrighty guys, we're back, and we did apply our damage marker as well to the Eugen, or sorry, the Krone, but now we're gonna show just some return fire. Obviously we've taken some damage, so that is a little bit rough. And unfortunately, we're also gonna be just down an attack die. So I'm not sure if we apply it for each weapon system, which would be pretty rough. But just to show you guys what a normal, decent salvo would look like, we're gonna ignore the attack dice penalty just to have it hopefully a decent roll here without having to flub this just for illustrative purposes. But we would need a 4, but we're actually at long range, so that's a -1. So really we need 5s to hope to hit the Eugen in return. And maybe we should have the little guy go first. That's honestly not a terrible roll if we were at short range for the ship still. So, but we still managed to get 2 hits. But that would have been pretty decent overall. But the reason we wanted to show this at long range, it's harder to hit, but we would count this as plunging fire because they're a main weapon system. So on the damage die, and this is the harder part, so it's 1 damage per damage that we can push through with the guns. They're AP -1, but we get +1 on the damage die results because it's plunging fire, so really it negates that. So we're just looking for even rolls here, but the armor on the Hipper is a 3-up, so it was a little bit stronger, but shouldn't be too hard to roll some 3s, hopefully. And we did put 2 damage out there, which, you know, at the end of the day here, we basically scratched some paint as return fire. So, but as you can quickly see, just damage volume, Colonel is definitely not going to do much at long range, even if we rolled a little bit better there. Ideally, we would be hoping for some crits, just to get some lucky damage through and maybe start disabling systems of different kinds on the larger competitor here, so larger adversary. So we'll do this one more time, and we'll just say that they're still at the same ranges, but just to show what would happen. So basically in the course of 2 turns, really on average rolls, the Hipper class should ultimately more or less just obliterate a given light cruiser, right? And really, neither time did we roll what I would consider, you know, some hot rolls, although we did get the 1 crit. So again, just rolling like absolute trash here. So still 3 hits, just like last time. And we just need 2 or betters. But this time, here we go, this is nice. So we did manage to have a chance for a couple of crits. So we're gonna already drop them to 9. If nothing else, even if we don't blow up the ship, they should really get crippled this turn. So, oops, and actually, we know it's gonna be at least 2 more damage. But then we have 2 more chances to roll 4-ups, see if we get some crits. Bang. All right. And then let's come back over the chart and we'll roll. So we got a 6 and a 4. So we hit the engine and the weapons again. So let's show what happens when things move up. So first time, second time. So they're gonna be at -2 attack dice. So really, you've as long as you stay at that range, you've weakened the incoming fire so much. However, the crew area will also increase by 1. So we didn't have to even hit the crew area. Remember, we hit the engine as well. So now that's going to apply -1 as well. So really, we've effectively neutered the light ship, even if it had more hull. So they're already at -3 attack dice, potentially from different systems. We're not going to bother to roll them all separately right now, but just to show you. So actually, let's just do that. Take that back. So let's do that one first. There's no extra hull damage from that one. There's 2 extra damage there. Oh, actually, I think we should have applied the other one first because we need to see if the the crit actually, well, it's extra damage, so yeah. So, sorry, we're just applying damage here. Let's see, we rolled a 2, which it does not have light guns for. The AA battery, so we're continuing to plink away at what the AA battery can do on the light ship. So it's effectively at 0. Very good. And then we got to roll one more time for the initial one. And that one is from the torpedoes. So basically we've effectively blown up all the AA guns on the light cruiser and started hitting the torpedo systems as well. And then from what we rolled, we hit once on the engine as well. So no extra hull points here. The props are damaged. So speed basically, so -1 to flank speed. But again, we're not playing the full game here. This is just illustrative purposes. But so you'll eventually strip away damage, so less incoming fire. You'll slow them down, so you'll be able to either outrun them if they're ultimately too tough, or you just need to get away from the engagement and move on to other things. So it's fun how damage will start applying here. So ultimately what we've done, we're at 2 on the weapons, automatically have gone up 1 on the crew and 1 on the engine. So we've basically done all of this and that so far. So Königsberg is down to a 5, so which means it is crippled. But just to show it again, we'll still fire with our light gun battery as well. And we actually rolled pretty hot there. 50% is hot. And they're weak, so they're not going to cause any crits, and they're also AP -2. So really, again, we need 4s at least. Ooh, did roll a natural 6, so that is a potential for a crit on the weak guns. The 5 drops to a 3, so it's another point of damage. And then, again, is a chance to cause a crit, we should say. 4 up. We are consistent on that. Just killing it on the crit rolls in this demo here. Be nice if that worked in actual games, right? And this time we rolled a 1, so we hit the engines again. So we go from here, and as you can see, it just gets worse. So another point of damage. Plus the damage of just, actually hitting. So, and this time, they're already at -1 flank speed, but then they also have to move 3 before making any turns. And again, we applied the extra damage. So really in 2 short turns, we've done these two, and this one. So, but it's crippled. So effectively out of the game, setting on a massive 2 hull points. And oops, here, just to be perfectly illustrative, we should be consistent, in actual games. So we've done 2 of those to the engine, 1 on the, actually 2 on the weapons. Let's catch up here. 2 on the weapons and 1 for the crew. So we're just collecting all of that. So at this point, really, the cone could maybe throw a few pot shots back, but just to illustrate here, at a typical engagement range, obviously if things were at short range, things would be, point blank would be a little bit different. The hipper would certainly be dominating, start bringing in torpedoes and all that stuff as well. So, but yeah, something like these light cruisers, basically, if you can keep them at a good range for you, not as great range for them, and then, to start plinking away. Now, the Krone doesn't have any light guns, but, when you start putting some of their weapon systems at not so great ranges for them, but you're still in your good ranges for you, good things happen. So, but really we could be engaging out even further, right? We could take this thing at long range up to 27. And if we look here, 27 is almost extreme range for the light cruiser in return, right? So, yes, you're both at a disadvantage, but theirs is significantly worse, and really you should apply more damage over time, start getting these effects on them, and it just kind of snowballs from there. So That is a quick illustration there, guys. So obviously this one is going pretty long. We'll do this again real quick, but we'll basically just focus on torpedo fire just so you guys see how that works. So hope you enjoyed this quick little walkthrough of just some basic gunnery for Victory at Sea.